Mainstream media are speedily dusting off their knee-jerk Hitler comparisons for the new enemy du jour, for once highlighting Russia's unparalleled anti-Nazi struggle in World War II. But don't adjust your set. It was only to try to stick the knife further into current leader Vladimir Putin.
Every Russian has learned about the siege of Leningrad during World War II. Sadly, history has repeated itself. But now it's the Russian government cruelly starving Ukrainian cities.
Dropping a bomb on a maternity hospital, it's the final proof that what is happening is genocide of Ukrainians.
Act on by their leaders and media, some protesters in the West have rushed to Photoshop Hitler's mustache to the Russian president's face or write his country's name with swastikas and SS symbols. The U.S. State Department's mouthpiece, Voice of America, never one to overanalyze or miss a tired anti-Russian jibe, simply dubs Vladimir Putin the new Hitler. It won't surprise experienced analysts, though, who will remember MSM's rush to make exactly the same comparison when Russia reunified with Crimea in 2015. But drawing parallels with the Second World War and playing with history like that is a two-way street, really. Here's, for example, another less than diplomatic history lesson from America's top diplomat.
It's impossible to see the images of people seeking refuge in Kyiv's metro in 2022 and not think of those who sheltered in the London Underground in 1942.
Okay then, how about the American Air Force dropping firebombs on Tokyo and killing more than 100,000 civilians in just 48 hours in 1945? Can we compare that incomparably more horrific assault to what's happening in Ukraine? Did it make Roosevelt the new Hitler, or does it make Putin the new Roosevelt? When a U.S. drone hit a car in Afghanistan in August, killing 10 family members, including 7 children, because the U.S. command apparently mistook them for terrorists, later admitting the wrongdoing, does it make Joe Biden the new Hitler?
It's an honest mistake. I understand the consequences, but it's not criminal conduct, random conduct, negligence.
A stupid thought without any proof, without any investigation. They attacked us and killed our children, and we will never forgive them.
When the Saudi-led coalition bombed a wedding in Yemen in 2018, killing 20 civilians there, does that make Saudi Arabia the new Nazi Germany? Why did Western leaders not talk about history and draw parallels with Hitler's Germany when the U.S. and other NATO countries bombed into the Middle Ages, Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, Yugoslavia, which is also in Europe? Does it mean you can only become Hitler if you're not Washington's buddy? And if we stick to this logic, what can we say about Ukraine's leader himself, since his country has been shelling Donetsk and Lugansk breakaway republics for 8 years leading up to this war, with schools and hospitals being bombed, civilians, including children, killed? The official UN figures point to almost 14,000 people losing their lives during these long years of daily death and suffering. Does that make Vladimir Zelensky the new Hitler?
The Ukraine on your news and Ukraine in real life are two completely different countries, and the main difference between them is ours is real. You are told we are Nazis. But could a people who lost more than 8 million lives in the battle against Nazism support Nazism?
Yes, and still Vladimir Zelensky somehow has been tolerating torch processions in Ukraine's capital, glorifying Stepan Bandera, the Nazi collaborator responsible for unspeakable acts, massacres of thousands, and somehow viewed as a national hero by modern-day Ukrainian neo-Nazi mayors and lawmakers, let alone the spread of the far-right ideology among Ukraine's militia units that even Western media had to admit. And yet it's only Vladimir Putin's face being photoshopped and only Russia demonized as a country and people. The reasons for such unique discrimination on this scale may be a topic for analysis by cooler heads in years to come. If you're waiting for level-headed reasoning by the Western establishment, don't hold your breath.
The anti-Russian rhetoric has been there for quite a long time, at least 10 years, and therefore it's still the mentality of the Cold War. They are our enemy. Russia cannot be trusted. Their leaders cannot be trusted. And therefore, we have to make sure that we have security. Our armies are strong enough to resist. Putin can't really be compared with Hitler, because Hitler's objective was to exterminate millions of people. He didn't want to conquer them, He wanted to conquer territory and wipe these people out so that the Soviet Union or the Soviet people, the Russian people, would no longer exist. President Putin's goals are not the same. President Putin wants to demilitarize Ukraine and remove the Ukrainian army and also to denazify Ukraine, meaning to remove nationalist politicians who are very, very anti-Russian. So therefore, his war, Putin's war, is not one of extermination. It's not a racial war. It's a normal war of one army against another, so as to achieve the military objectives of Russia.